Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from Homemaker. Friends, before I start with my today's video, I would like to thank all our viewers who have liked and subscribed to our channel. And if you haven't done it so far, please don't forget to subscribe for our new releases every week. So let's get started with our today's video. Friends, today we will be talking about this beautiful plant known as lady palm or bamboo palm, and the botanical name of this plant is Raphis Excelsa. So this plant is a tropical plant which is a little bit different from the regular palms that we have in our houses like Erica palm or parlor palm, and basically the difference is only in the size, in the shape of the leaves. So these leaves, this plant has got fan shaped leaves and it is very these fan shaped leaves have got 5 to 8 segments, different leaves. Like this one has got 5 segments, this one has got 6. So different leaves have got different segments, and these beautiful glossy leaves are, I think, one of the reasons why this plant is a very popular house plant nowadays. Another benefit, I think, is that this plant is a very low maintenance plant. It is an excellent air purifier, and it is a very beautiful, low light tolerant, drought tolerant plant. So all these qualities are there in this plant, and that is why I think many of us love to keep this plant indoors. And when it's nice and healthy like this one, it gives you a beautiful tropical feel inside your house. And I love them. I have got, this is a mother plant. I've got one of its baby pups inside in my house that I've grown. I propagated from this mother plant, and we'll talk about propagation later in this video. So friends, I'll go through some of the care tips of this plant. So as I said, that it is a tropical plant and it is a very, very low maintenance plant. Usually we all put these plants in indoor environment because it can purify the air, it looks good, it's low maintenance and blah blah blah. This plant is grown outside, and when it's grown outside, I think the care is even more less, because you don't have to worry about root rot, you don't have to worry about the soil conditions or drainage or anything, or even repotting and all. So it just keeps on growing in the ground by itself. But if you are growing this plant in a pot, then make sure that you use you can use a regular potting mix, but that potting mix should be well draining. For that purpose, you can add a little bit of perlite or pumice or coarse sand into that soil mix. Make sure that your pot has got enough of drainage holes for the excess of water to seep through. So otherwise, these plants love loamy soil as well, because loamy soil keeps it moist for a long time, and these plants love moist soil. So when we are talking about moisture and the soil, I would talk about the watering conditions. So these plants love water. They are drought tolerant plants, but that does not mean that they can stay without water for a long time, because it's gonna affect their beautiful leaves. They will get dried up, and then you will get all these dry leaves which look really ugly. When the leaves get dead or dried out, or the lower leaves get mature, they do dry out. What you can do is just remove these leaves so that the plant does not have to spend its energy on the dead leaves. It can concentrate on the newer leaves that are coming up. So don't let this plant to bone dry just because it's drought tolerant. They love their soil to be moist but not soggy at the same time. So check your soil before watering, up to a knuckle, an inch, depends upon your pot. If your pot is small, up to an inch or 2 inch. Check the soil. If your pot is big, maybe you might need to go a little bit more deeper to check if the soil is dry or moist. If the soil is moist, you can wait for a couple of more days and then reassess the soil and then water your plant. But if the soil is moist, do not overwater this plant, because overwatering aids root rot, and root rot is a #1 killer for any plant in your house. So talking about watering, I would also talk about the humidity. They are humidity loving plants. They love the humidity to be more than 50%. and you can to increase the humidity level, especially during the summer season in your house. You can make use of a humidifier. You can make use of the pebble tray, the regular old traditional trick of using a pebble tray. And then keeping your pot of lady palm on top of the pebble tray, making sure that the pot is not sitting in the water but just on top of the pebble, so when the water evaporates, it's going to affect benefit the plant. Or what you can do is mist the leaves of this plant many times during the day to make sure that it receives that humidity level that it needs. The more the humidity, the more happy your plant will be. So I think humidifier should be the best option, or you can also keep this plant in your bathrooms or your kitchen where the humidity levels are generally more than the rest of the house. So they are humidity loving plants. Next is temperature. So as I said, tropical plants, they love warm and humid conditions. So temperature ranging between 65 to 75 degree Fahrenheit is very much good for these plants, but anything less than 55 degree Fahrenheit can affect the growth of this plant, can affect the beauty of this plant as well. So if it's cold temperature, you can keep your plant indoor or maybe move it to a more warmer spot to make sure that it does not affect the plant. I have done a whole video on caring about the plants during winter season. I'll leave the link in the description box. Please go ahead and see if you just want to have a look at that. And yeah, so that was about the temperature conditions. Then is about the fertilizing. You can fertilize these plants, not too much, maybe during spring or summer season. They are very slow growing plants. I think maybe in an year I can say they would just grow half a foot maybe in a year, because they're very slow growing plants. During spring and summer season, you can fertilize them with a complete liquid house plant fertilizer, or you can make use of the seaweed solution to provide that extra nutrition during spring and summer. During winters, the plant is not growing that much, so I think there's no need to fertilize during the winter season. This was about fertilizing. And then regarding the pest control or the pest attack, so these plants are susceptible to spider mites or mealybugs or aphids, thrips, and all those sorts of nasty pests that we find. They are very much susceptible. But if you find any of those pest attack on your leaves or on your plant, give it a good wash. You can use neem oil solution to get rid of all those pests. You can use hydrogen peroxide solution, you can use baking soda solution, and they will be helpful to get rid of all those pests from your plant. Make sure, like spider mites generally happen when the plant is very dry, the humidity level is very low, so that's when spider mites actually attack. So make sure that your plant, which is a tropical plant, does not dry out that much for the spider mites to attack this plant. So yeah, that was about the pest. And last but not the least, maybe propagation. So these plants can be propagated through their offsets, like their babies. So what happens is when the plant matures, it will give out an offshoot. Like these plants have got the rhizome sort of roots under the soil. So when the rhizome it grows, it will give out branches, and then from that branch one new plant will come out. It will give out a branch and a new plant will come out. So they are kind of clump forming, and then that new plant will give rise to more clumps and more plants to make it more bushier. So what happens is then that when the mother plant gives out its offshoot, it's very easy. Just cut off that offshoot from the mother plant. It has got its roots already. Take that plant, if the roots are already there, there is no need to water propagate it. You can directly transfer that cutting into your soil. Keep the soil moist till the plant is able to adjust to the new soil condition and to the new pot. And once the plant is showing new growth, that means your plant is all well settled and happy. That is what I did with the plant that I have got indoor, the baby that came out from this mother plant. So that is very easy to propagate these plants. So friends, this was all about Raphis Excelsa or lady palm or bamboo palm. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please do give us a thumbs up if you really liked it, and do subscribe to our channel for our new releases every week. And we will see you next time with another exciting video. Till then, stay safe, happy gardening, bye bye.